If nobody wants to procreate with you, then isn't that nature and the universe kind of saying, hey, your genes aren't wanted here? Hey, your tree line ends now. The irony is that people like me who are brilliant and just damn sexy, just good-looking, damn sexy, high-quality genetic material are purposely getting the Vans Defrins, getting our snippety-snip and getting vasectomies, while the dumbest, ugliest people are just trying every way to breed. Did I talk about this last week? I did. Or not even last week, last podcast. Didn't I talk about how women, I jokingly read about how the mice were being able to procreate without having sex, and that this was jokingly hailed as a great advancement for women who hate sex, which is about 40% of them. This is it. In the olden days, if we're going to worship at the altar of science and empiricism and Darwin, then these people should not breed. They should be wiped out. What were traditionally called spinsters, of which they exist today, and they're not going to have sex because the Lord or whatever psychological problems and BS rationalizations they throw up in your face. They would breed out. The Sandra Flukes would breed out, but no, they can't do that. That is too much of a strike to their ego. And now, I guarantee you, I wonder what the process was. I guarantee you, these old 60s feminists and broads are getting pissed off that they didn't have children. Or they're so desperate to find a way, and that some of the 50 and 40-year-old women, the feminists as well, are starting to say, well, we got to have children somewhere. So they're always cheering for, like, in vitro fertilization, but it's the problem that those damn nuclear families, those stable couples who are infertile, get preferential treatment. And forget whether the kid has a nuclear family or stable. No, by God, a woman or man's reproductive rights, straight, gay, bi, whatever, that trumps whether or not they can actually bring the kid up in a normal, healthy family. And let's forget all the kids that could really use a home that are already here. No, let's not adopt them. That might actually help out in this world. That might actually truly be caring more about your child than yourself. Nope, you got to have your genes, and you are such an evil, disgusting, selfish, narcissist egomaniac that you can't even tolerate to have someone else's genetic material. You can't even get it the honest way. You got to go and get the turkey baster, and then you got to go and get international government agencies to go and enforce some kind of universal law because no one wants to F you. And what's worse is you're so screwed up in the head, you don't want to F anybody. I am pro-effing, by the way, whether it results in a child or not. Well, typically, actually, I'm pro-effing as long as it doesn't end up in a child. I like to practice effing. I guess that's the difference between making love and effing. I'm all for the effing. I am not for making love. That just ruins it. And we made love. Blah. If a girl ever said my little soldier could be up and at attention and ready to charge the hills and the gun emplacements. And if a woman ever said, make love to me, it would immediately stand down. Nope, we are not charging no bunkers today. No guy wants to make love. They want to F. That's what they want. They do not care to make love. They do not care to conceive another child of God into this world. They just want to get their rocks off. Terribly sorry. Gareth Johnson, MP, former chair of the All-Parliamentary Group on Infertility. What a group of wild, crazy, good-looking people that group must be. Whose own children were born thanks to fertility treatment, said, I'm in general supporter of IVF, but I've never regarded infertility as a disability or disease, but rather a medical matter. There we go. All right, I shouldn't have picked on him. I'm the first to say that you should have more availability of IVF to infertile couples, but we need to ensure this whole subject retains credibility. This definition runs the risk of undermining the work NICE, which is a person they're referring to, N-I-C-E, capital N, and others have done to ensure in vitro fertilization treatment is made available for infertile couples. When you get definitions off the mark like this, I think it's trying to put in vitro fertilization into a box that doesn't fit into, frankly. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's a medical process. It's not a right. Josephine Quintavalli from Comment. Oh, God. This is a group. This is the title of the group. Comment on Reproductive Ethics added, This absurd nonsense is not simply redefining infertility, but completely sidelining the biological process and significance of natural intercourse between a man and a woman. How long before babies are created and grown on request completely in the lab? Soon! That's the dream! Don't you get that, Josephine? That is the dream for a lot of men-hating women. They want it all. They want everything paid for, womb to tomb, not only including their lives, but the lives of their children. And if they can avoid the womb altogether and just have a baby grown in a lab, perfect, because then they don't have to actually interact or look. They're purely selfish people, and the reason why is because in order to not only succeed in this life, but to be happy, you have to have other people in your life, and that means you are not this self-absolved jerk. Your life doesn't revolve completely around you. You have other people in your life, and you have the capacity for altruism, selflessness, and truly love for your other fellow man or woman. But that takes sacrifice. That takes humility and humbleness. Do you think these feminist narcissists are capable of that? It also takes effort. I've said it before, if I want to attract an attractive female, I gotta work out, I gotta watch what I eat, I have to develop this devastating personality that I've developed now, I have to watch a ton of Cary Grant and Jimmy Stewart films, I have to be on my game, I have to force myself to be clever, I have to develop a sense of humor, I have to become funny, I have to become witty. It is a Herculean task. And ladies, as you know, it's a Herculean task for you to stay pretty, dress nice, have a good sense of fashion, have a great demeanor, be intelligent, be witty, and all the other things on the opposite side for the women. That takes effort. And leftists are defined by their lack of work ethic. And they are so egotistical, as evidence that they'll have a kid, they'll bring a kid into the world that's not wanted because it's all for them. Nobody exists outside of a leftist world except themselves. In their mind, this is just one big video game. They're the only truly sentient people here who have any kind of consciousness about them. The rest is just digital. It's like the Matrix. It's not real. It's just there to serve them. And so when you ask, how long before babies are created and grown on request completely in the lab? It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen by law if they get their way, because it's all about them. And they don't want to be selfless. They're too lazy to be selfless, to become something of value to another human being that another human being would cherish in terms of love or friendship or socializing. And one of the largest hurdles is to get somebody to want to screw you. Well, unless you're a girl. It's not that hard to get a guy. That's a different thing. But imagine how hideous and ugly you got to be if you're a woman and you can't get a guy to screw you. I mean, or you just hate the fact that you have to deal or suffer or entertain the thoughts and presence and being of another person, particularly a man. And that's where that's the world these women live in. And so, yeah, you darn right, having a lab baby or a test tube baby is that, like I said, they get off more on that than they do a man's penis. Just the thought of that makes them wet. Way more than the most good-looking, charming, Hugh Jackman-y man out there. They are more wet over the prospects of a test tube baby than they are Sean Connery or Cary Grant, because the test tube baby doesn't give them guff. And if you could get the government to pay for it, it's the perfect world. That's porn. That's feminist porn right there. Not other human beings, not other men, not love, not interaction, not human interaction, not selflessness or altruism or sacrifice or feelings or emotion. It's a government check and a test tube baby. That's and a completely made up, fabricated faux study like women's studies or social worker or something like that. So you can actually think you're contributing to society. That's the world.